Alright, this way of solving quadratics we're going to do by extracting square roots. So for this, you're typically just going to want an x squared. You're not going to want like an x term. So this is not going to work well if it's in standard form, and that's in the ax squared plus bx plus c form. So once I have figured out that, hey, this is just a simple x squared, I can come in here and simply say, hey, I take the square root of both sides, and that's going to free my x. Now what you have to remember is anytime you take the square root, you have to account that you don't know whether you're moving positive or negative. So the square root of 91, I don't think that's going to be pretty. So if we do the square root of 91, we get 9.539. Now, that is correct. And of course that's rounded, but we could have also just left it as plus or minus the square root of 91. And when you are doing calculator, you're more than likely going to be getting this. But if you are working on a test or ACT standardized, it's going to leave it under the square root. So just be aware of that. Now here's another one. This is vertex form because I have the one set of parentheses, still has my squared, so I know it's still going to be a quadratic parabola shape. So I have to get whatever is squared alone. So the only thing that is squared is this parenthesis right here. So I need to move everything else off to the other side. You always get rid of the addition or subtraction first. So I'm going to add 8 to this side. That's going to leave me 2. 3x plus 1 squared equal to 8. Then I got to come in here and divide by 2 to get rid of that. Okay, so once I get rid of that, I've now got my x squared, or my 3x squared plus 1, 3x plus 1 squared equal 4. Then this is just like the one we did. It's squared, so do we get rid of that by taking the square root. So that's going to be 3x plus 1. And just like we did earlier, if I take the square root, it's a plus or minus. The square root of 4 is 2. So we have two equations that we have to break this down and solve. We've got 3x plus 1 equals positive 2, and 3x plus 1 equals negative 2. When I solve these, then I get my answer. So 3x equals 1 divided by 3. So one solution is at 1/3. And then I get a 3x equals negative 3 on this next divide, and the final solution is at a negative 1. So this is how you solve by extracting square roots. Again, it will be in that vertex form.